The precious gift of time. Once upon a time in a small village nestled between lush green hills, there lived a young boy named Arjun. He was known for his carefree attitude and often wasted his days playing and daydreaming. The elders of the village, especially his grandmother, would often warn him about the value of time, saying, "Time is like a river, Arjun. Once it passes, it can never come back." But Arjun, with his youthful arrogance, would laugh and dismiss their advice. He thought there was always tomorrow to do everything. He spent his days playing with friends, roaming the fields, and never really focusing on his studies or helping around the house. He would often tell his grandmother, "Grandma, I'm young now, I have all the time in the world." Years passed, and Arjun grew into a young man. Yet, his careless attitude remained. One day, as he walked through the village, he noticed an elderly man who was known for his wisdom, sitting under a tree. This man, named Master Haran, had seen many seasons of life and was deeply respected for his advice. Arjun, out of curiosity, approached him. "Master Haran," Arjun asked, "you've seen so much of life. What is the secret to living well?" Master Haran smiled kindly and motioned for Arjun to sit. He said, "I will answer your question, but first, let me tell you a story." The old man began, "Once, there was a king who had everything, wealth, power, and fame. But despite all his riches, the king was deeply unhappy. One day, he summoned his wise men and asked, 'What is the most valuable thing in this world that I do not have? I have everything, but I am not content.' The wise men were puzzled. They searched high and low, seeking answers. After many months, one old sage approached the king and said, 'Your Majesty, what you lack is time.' The king was confused. 'Time?' he asked. 'I have all the time I need.' Master Haran paused, letting Arjun absorb the words. The sage then explained, 'Time is a treasure that cannot be bought or controlled.' The king had all the wealth in the world, but no matter how much money he had, he could not buy time. He had spent it foolishly, indulging in his desires, and now he was left with nothing. Arjun listened intently as Master Haran continued. The king soon realized the truth in the sage's words. He had neglected time in pursuit of everything else. As the years went by, his life became empty, and he wished he could turn back time to make better choices. Master Haran looked at Arjun with a deep, knowing gaze. "You see, young one, time is like a precious seed. How you plant it today will determine the flowers and fruits of your tomorrow. If you waste it, your future will be barren. If you use it wisely, it will grow into something beautiful." Arjun was silent for a moment, reflecting on the old man's words. "But Master Haran," he asked, "how do I know if I am using my time wisely?" The wise man smiled and said, "You know when your heart is full, when you are working towards something that brings you peace and joy. Time is not about how many hours you have, but how you use them. Each moment is a gift, and you must treat it as such." Arjun returned home that evening, deeply moved by the story. He thought about the years he had wasted and the opportunities he had missed. From that day forward, he changed his ways. He dedicated himself to learning, helping his family, and making the most of every moment. Though he still enjoyed his moments of rest and relaxation, he no longer took time for granted. As the years passed, Arjun grew wiser and more fulfilled. He had cultivated not only knowledge, but also deep relationships with the people around him. He had learned the true value of time, not as a commodity to be spent, but as a gift to be cherished. One day, when he became an elder in the village, he sat under the same tree where Master Haran had once shared his wisdom. As he looked out over the fields, he smiled and thought to himself, "Time is a precious gift. I now know how to use it." And so, Arjun lived the rest of his days, not with regret, but with a heart full of gratitude for the time he had, and the lessons he had learned about its value. Moral of the story: time is the most precious gift we have. Once it is gone, it cannot be retrieved. Use your time wisely, for it shapes your future and the life you will lead.